Ladies and gentlemen, as you know, this evening is Iowa, or today is Iowa. The results will be out this evening, probably around 10 or 11 p.m. Pacific. We'll know exactly who won. Definitely be on this channel. We'll have a very special live stream. If Bernie Sanders doesn't win, well, it doesn't matter whether Bernie wins or not. He's still going to be cheated. Hillary Clinton will become the nominee. Ain't going to be Biden. They cheated Bernie in 2016, so it's not going to be Bernie. It's the DNC lawyers in the DNC fraud lawsuit had DNC lawyers say that they could pick their nominee in smoke-filled back rooms if they wanted to. I have no clue what makes anyone think 2020 will be different. They're already cheating Bernie Sanders. I can go explain that forever like I always have, but it's going to be interesting. They'll almost certainly cheat Bernie. He should win this evening for Democrats. I'm voting for Trump, so I was the biggest Bernie Sanders booster on the internet, according to the Huffington Post. I was the unofficial scribe of Sanders' most hardcore voters, according to the Washington Post. I wrote, over 100 articles. Most of them went viral, saying that, Democrats had a criminal who basically had her crimes covered up by James Comey, and somebody who helped destroy a country in Libya along with President Obama and Biden. And then you had Bernie Sanders. He was cheated. DNC emails showed that they rigged the election from the start, the primary, and the campaign emails show that they elevated President Trump. So I don't know how anyone sees all of this. Now, and I accurately predicted, it's not about predictions, but my analysis was spot on regarding Clinton losing to Trump. You can read the NPR article below in the pinned comment and the description. 538 said Trump wouldn't be GOP nominee, and I stated that Clinton would lose swing states, which she did, and she was unelectable. She would lose to Trump, and she did. I'm telling everyone, I've been telling everybody for 3 years now, that Clinton is going to be nominee. All of those channels, all of those people that said that Trump wouldn't make it out of his first term because he colluded with Russia, I said that was nonsense also. Steele dossier nonsense. I also said impeachment would help Trump. Now that gets to Lindsey Graham and Biden and Hunter and the intelligence operative and Shifty. We'll get to that in a moment. But be here tonight, live stream this evening, because there's going to be a very, very special live stream. I have no clue what's going to happen. I doubt Bernie will win. He could. Regardless of what takes place, he's going to be cheated. If Bernie Sanders wins, they will sink to levels you've never seen before to try to cheat and denigrate and eviscerate his campaign. If he doesn't win, which he should, because he's up in all the polls, that'll just show you that it was rigged from the start, just like the last time in Iowa when, coin flips and all the nonsense. Anyway, give me your thoughts below regarding that. But getting to Lindsey Graham, GOP to probe intelligence operative Biden's after impeachment trial. So this is all. This correlates to Iowa. All of this correlates to Democratic Party corruption. So you're gonna have results tonight that'll be the beginning of the end of the Democratic Party, which correlates directly to Hunter Biden and Joe Biden. There's no chance that Joe Biden becomes nominee. There's also no chance that Bernie becomes nominee. There's also no chance that Warren becomes nominee, which leaves Hillary Clinton, which is what I wrote about in the Huffington Post in 2017. The articles below in the Times of Israel in 2019. Clinton is going to run at some point. Whether it's a day before the convention, she'll run towards the convention and she'll be nominated. It'll be a brokered, contested, whatever. This is like having the Houston Astros, with the buzzer and the banging and the trash cans. This is like having them run the primary. You might as well just, how people, I don't even want to get into it, how people have, on the left, have convinced themselves that they can actually win in a process that is run by a political machine only for Clinton is beyond me. But here, finally, we'll get into it. Okay, I know you spent so much time talking about, other things. 5 minutes in, you could just write, a 5-minute mark, he talks about it. Lindsey Graham, GOP to probe intelligence operative. They use the word whistleblower, but whatever, it's not that. Biden's after impeachment trial. The Senate will investigate the intelligence operative who sent off the impeachment of President Trump. Senate Judiciary Chairman Lindsey Graham said Sunday, quote, I want to understand how all of this nonsense, well, he used a different word, started. The South Carolina Republican said on Fox News' Sunday Morning Futures, Mr. Graham said that the chairman of the Senate Select Committee, North Carolina Republican Richard Burr, told colleagues that he wants to question the intelligence operative. Now, if Richard Burr wants to question this guy, that actually says a lot. It says that they're looking at 2020. It says that they do not want to lose the Senate because of Supreme Court picks. So Trump is going to get reelected. That's not even a question. He'll defeat Clinton again. That's not even a question. And it's not going to be Biden. It's not going to be Bernie. It's not going to be Warren. It's not going to be anyone else. The whole thing's a farce and a charade. Okay? And no, dates and filing dates don't matter. Nothing matters on the left. Clinton used private servers with top secret intelligence illegally transferred to them. You think she cares about paperwork? Anyway, it doesn't matter. The whole thing's a charade anyway. I was like 4 years ahead of saying that Clinton was unelectable. People said, "Oh my God, everything you write is clickbait." No. Now everyone's saying Clinton's unelectable. Now I'm saying she's going to run again, and then they say it's clickbait. You can't win. I can't win. Okay, you understand? I can't win. So anyway, Mr. Graham said that the chairman of the Senate Select Committee, Richard Burr, North Carolina Republican Senator Richard Burr, told colleagues that he wants to question the intelligence operative. He said that investigations into the intelligence operative and former Vice President Joseph R. Biden's dealings in Ukraine, two issues at the heart of the impeachment charges against Mr. Trump, which continue to be investigated by the Senate after the president's impeachment acquittal that is expected this week on charges of... Okay, so... One comment on H.A. Goodman's other channel, check out H.A. Goodman's other channel, said, well, why doesn't Trump allow witnesses if he's so innocent? Well, that's not the way things work, number one. You have to prove a crime took place before you get an endless array of witnesses. He already had impeachment, and he already had quote-unquote witnesses that were just, spewing gossip. But if with that logic, well, why doesn't Biden and Hunter Biden, why don't they testify? Why don't they testify willingly to clear their name? Oh, that's right. Because you have to prove something first without a shadow of a doubt. You have to prove a crime committed. Now, President Trump is looking at conflicts of interest with Biden and Burisma. You saw that something did take place. Nobody is accusing him of any criminal act. You can look into something without an impeachment or without getting the FBI involved or without, some grandiose, 3-year special counsel, 2-year special counsel, which they have no problem doing with Trump without direct evidence and just suspicion. If Trump so much as inquires why Hunter Biden was on the board of directors getting $3.5 million while his dad was firing a prosecutor looking into that company that was paying him $3.5 million. Oh my God. The end of the world. How dare you even have suspicion that something would be wrong? So Trump has every right to investigate. Okay. But they didn't just investigate with Trump regarding this. They impeached him. They formed a special counsel. Well, you know what? Fair play. Now you get President Trump looking into actual corruption. They say Trump is corrupt. They couldn't even include a criminal act within the articles of impeachment because there was no legal statute or criminal act associated with the articles of impeachment. And They couldn't even include any of the 2-year special counsel, where 30-plus people were indicted on process crimes. They started just this giant boulder down a hill of government bureaucracy and corruption and retribution against Trump. And you had very criminal and corrupt and crooked FBI officials like Peter Strzok and Kleinsmith and Lisa Page and McCabe and Clapper and Baker, or McCabe and Comey and Baker, and Clapper and Brennan. They're also wonderful people. You had all these people texting each other, "We'll stop Trump." Could you imagine if they're not doing it for Biden or Bernie? Okay? This was a monstrosity that was created as retribution, as a way to get back at Trump for winning. That's obvious. It's obvious. They didn't even include any of the special counsel or the Trump Jr. meeting or the dossier or Alexander Downer's nonsense or Joseph Mifsud's nonsense into the articles of impeachment. Why not? Couldn't they have phoned up Comey or McCabe or Strzok or Clapper or anybody, Brennan, and asked them for all the litany of crimes that Trump was said to have committed, and put those crimes in the article? What about the Mueller probe report? What about the Mueller report? What about Comey's memos? You couldn't include that in the articles of impeachment? Well, because you were full of Bandini. They didn't do this whole thing has been an elaborate charade for 3 years, and it's going to the curtain is going to be pulled back in Iowa. Whether Bernie wins or not, he's still going to be cheated. And whether Biden wins or not, he's still crooked and very likely forced out the prosecutor because of his son being on the board of directors. Now, we have a sworn affidavit from Viktor Shokin, the guy who was forced out. And the fact that European diplomats, or that wasn't official Obama administration policy to force out the prosecutor. Where was the documentation? Where were the emails? Did President Obama say to Biden to fire that guy, or is this the way foreign policy is conducted? I'm leaving in 6 hours. You better fire that prosecutor. If you don't, then you're not going to get $1 billion in loan guarantees. Was that how? Was that literal quid pro quo? That's literally quid pro quo. Is that how President Obama told Biden to handle corruption in Ukraine? In a brazen, overt attempt at intimidation? You will not get $1 billion in loan guarantees unless you fire the prosecutor we want, because because why? Because of corruption? You're acting in a corrupt manner. You're forcing another country to fire its own official, and because of corruption, you're doing what you just did is the most corrupt thing ever. So Biden, under the guise of corruption, implemented his own little corrupt scheme. And that had nothing to do with President Obama, because notice how President Obama is saying that Bernie Sanders can't win. He's going to go and interfere in the primary. He'll say that he literally, through Politico and then twice more through his campaign manager, stated that if Bernie gets close, he would have to intervene. He also alluded to the fact that Biden couldn't win, but he never stated that he told Biden to force out the prosecutor. So, yeah, Lindsey Graham and Burr and all of them, Senate Republicans slowly, for self-interest, are going to protect the president. Though they protected the president, didn't protect the president, they just logic. There's no reason to force out the remove a president when you have record low unemployment, 5 million people lifted out of poverty, 6 million jobs created, 300,000 plus manufacturing jobs, 300,000 lost under President Obama. So there's no not only did Trump not commit a crime, but the economy is great. First president to step foot in North Korea, to begin détente between North and South Korea. That's a foreign policy achievement. That's the greatest foreign policy achievement in 20, 30 years. Can you think of a foreign policy achievement from President Obama or Bush, which Bush has had zero achievements? But can you think of a foreign policy achievement in the past 16 years that comes close? That comes even close to what Trump did in North Korea? Okay, so there's tension still, but at least there's some kind of diplomatic relationship between the U.S., North Korea, and South Korea, and between South Korea and North Korea. That's still amazing. You had these wonderful diplomats who were like, oh yeah, Trump withheld military assistance because he was so afraid of Biden, which is nonsense. Nobody's afraid of Biden. If Biden wins Iowa, I don't see Biden winning Iowa, but if he wins Iowa, oh my God, the thing's going to be rigged beyond belief. If Bernie wins Iowa, Democrats are going to have the biggest problem on their hands because they're going to be like, how are we going to cheat this guy? They have no intention, even if Bernie wins Iowa, they have no intention of allowing him to win. So, almost certainly, it'll be like something like 2016, where it's like, gosh, it was so close. Too bad. 20 coin flips, big deal. Give me your thoughts below. This is going to this will be, 2020 will be the end of the current Democratic Party, the end of the current outrage culture, nonsense, cyber reality that people live in. 2020 will be a turning point in American history. And it'll be not only validation and vindication for President Trump, but it'll be validation and vindication for everyone who voted for President Trump, or who basically said, I'm not voting Democrat. Okay? If you vote Democrat this year, you're emboldening. They use the word emboldening with Trump and all the bad people, but that's nonsense. But if you vote Democrat, you actually are emboldening corrupt intelligence officials. You're emboldening corrupt people in Hollywood. You're emboldening people who are corrupt, like Debbie Wasserman Schultz, and people who cheat. You might as well have, like I said, the Houston Astros just run the Democratic primary. The thing is complete and utter nonsense. Whatever happens tonight, it's still going to bolster the notion that they're cheating. Because if it's a facade, they cheated in 2016. So they're not going to cheat in 2020. What would stop them? What? Oh, Bernie or bust? There is no Bernie or bust, really. Because Bernie Sanders will eventually say, vote Clinton. Vote the people who cheated me. At the end of the day, Clinton's going to be nominee. I don't care how. I don't care when it happens. But she'll be nominee. At that convention, they ain't nominating Biden or Bernie or Warren. Okay? Why do you think Clinton loyalists are running the Democratic convention? Gee, you think maybe she's smarter than the media and everyone else and Democrats? So, give me your thoughts below. Be here for the live stream tonight. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be a lot of fun. Whatever happens, Bernie's being cheated. Anyway, whatever happens, they're going to install Clinton again. And this is the beginning of the end for the Democratic Party, the current Democratic Party. Then the next incarnation is going to be more along the line of they'll realize that a candidate like Tulsi Gabbard is probably more of what Democrats need to actually win again. Give me your thoughts below. Check out H.A. Goodman's other channel, Right This